because I love the craft of it. I love the whole idea of painting and representing, you know, the human form. I never even considered trying to paint anything with any deep symbology or any deep meaning or making, you know, social statements about humanity. I just kind of paint, you know, what I see and what intrigues me, and mainly that is people. And so when I first applied to be part of this group here at OSA, I realized that I had to submit an artist statement. And I said, oh geez, I have to actually sit down and figure out what I'm doing, and why I do it, and why I paint, and why I draw, and without sounding ridiculous or make something cogent and not self-important. But my first thought was, though, that I would just do something simple, a 3-word artist statement that said, I paint people. And that was perfect for me. But, you know, I didn't know all of you people, and I didn't know it would be considered as a little sarcastic or self-important, so I did what anyone would do who needed an artist statement. I went to the online artist statement. And it's great, because you don't really have to sing. When they ask you questions, it has pull-down menus, so you just, okay. So I thought I would read my artist statement here. And I need my glasses here. Duane Eells' work investigates the nuances of modulations through the use of brush motion and means which emphasize the symbiotic nature of the human experience. Eells explores representational and abstracted facial planes as motifs to describe the idea of infinite reality. Using realistic loops, nonlinear narratives, and allegorical images and patterns, Eells creates meditative environments which suggest the expansion of space, time, and the dualistic nature of humanity's struggles. Though I only know about what half of those words mean, I think I'm going to stick to it.
And what's the website on that?
I want you to steal on my but you know, I paint people representationally because that's really all I have ever done. That's what I love to do. I don't think I could paint an abstract, expressionistic painting if my life depended upon it. I like looking at them and I respect it, but it's just not in my nature to you know, to do such a thing as that. So I kind of though in all representational types of paintings there is abstraction just by the nature of it. I mean, you look at something and you simplify it and abstract it down. So it's just really a matter of degrees on the abstraction there. But representational works, I think, I've always felt that they kind of resonate with people on a deep personal human nature because you know, it kind of speaks a visual language where there's this connection between you know, the viewer and what they're viewing and what they're seeing. And that's what my hope is to create that connection, to create that emotional connection, to create some sort of empathy that exists when you see those paintings of mine. It's not something you try to do. It's either going to come naturally or it's not going to come at all. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to create this feeling. I just, you know, I guess when I paint people, I just paint what I see, and I paint, you know, with, you know, pretty broad strokes, and I hope that, you know, some emotion comes out. I started in art, drawing, and painting when I was quite young. My mom took me to oil painting classes when I was in the 5th grade, and my first juried show was in 1972. I won first place for the Rancho Park Department of Recreation in the city of Los Angeles, and that was it. And this was, I think I actually copied this painting from, I don't know if you remember those old Walter Foster books from way back when. I think I just copied the painting.
We got a seat on this side.
Sorry?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
How old were you? How old were you?
Well, 72, that would make me 3. I think I was 14 or 15.
That's really nice.
Wait, I think I've seen that one at Walmart.
I hold the rights to it, yeah. Holiday Inns, man. But so that was my original passion. I mean, I always loved looking at old masters' drawings and paintings. You know, when I was young, I liked Norman Rockwell. Those always intrigued me because it just seemed so hard to do. I loved, my parents subscribed to Time magazine, and back then a lot of the covers were illustrations and paintings, and so I would take them and I tried to copy them. Because I remember one time there was a painting of Jimmy Carter on the cover. It was when he was the governor of Georgia before he was the president, and I really liked the painting, so I drew it with a pencil or charcoal or something, and my parents were really conservative. So I showed it to my mom, and she got upset because she thought it looked like Bobby Kennedy. But I plowed through it anyway. So, but I like the whole idea of being able to, create the illusion of 3 dimensions and create a story and create a feeling through either drawing or through painting. Checking notes. Okay, there's 3 things that are important to me when I paint, that at least I consider and one of them is skill and creativity and empathy.
And what?
I mean,
Empathy.
empathy. And I like the whole idea of, well, skill's important because I love the craft of drawing. I love the idea that you can, you can look at a person and you can draw. I love that I can take it, I can actually draw someone and make it look like them. That really excites me, I like doing a figure and all the parts look like they actually fit together. Like if you turned it into a real human being, then they would actually look like they were actually real human beings. So, but I love that whole craft of drawing, and it's something that it takes a lot of time. I mean, my hope has always been to kind of master what the old masters did. I'm far from that, and may never get there, but that is something that I like to do. Creativity, I just like trying to do things that haven't been done, that's original. Taken maybe, a friend of mine asked me to do this series, which I'm actually going to do. It took me a couple of years to figure out a way to do it that wasn't done before. So, I want myself, even though, I think inside of me I have this, I have this foundation of classical drawings and classical, and paintings, that I still want to make things look like they're done today. And empathy is important to me as well. And that is, creating a connection between you when you look at that and you feel who, this person is, and, and what they might be thinking, their struggle or their joy in life. So that's important to me. You want me to dance and to me, art, it's this fight. It's I never know how things are going to turn out in the end. I have tons and tons of failures, at least in my mind, and I have tons and tons of successes in my mind. But it's always, it's this fight, it's this interplay of, what you see when you want to paint and what you envision and what your skill set allows you to do. So it's just trying to meld those 2 together and try to create art that is, meaningful to you. I mean, there was a time in my life a couple of years ago when I looked through, a series of paintings that I did over the past couple of years, and I said to myself, if I went 4 years ago to a bookstore in the art department and they had my paintings there, I might buy that book. And at that point, I really felt, that it made me feel good as an artist. It made me feel like, okay, I've kind of crossed this bridge where I'm okay with what I do. And so the best moments in the studio are those moments, you always know that those moments of flow, you know, when you could do no wrong and the time just passes by and, you know, you see colors you didn't see before, you paint brush strokes you didn't, you broad brush strokes that you may have been afraid to in any other moment, or you put one brush stroke and suddenly, you know, the painting wakes up. And those are the part of painting that I love most. And I hope to have more of those moments than the moments you have curled up in a ball in the corner of your studio, naked and crying. But I thought I would go through a few of my paintings now. I would start with, I was asked by, most of you know Nigel at the Jester, he saw some of my paintings, asked me to hang them there, so I said, hey, why don't we make an event out of it, Nigel? I'll paint a portrait of you, and we got a bunch of people there, we'll unveil it. And so we did that. And then I said, my God, I hadn't displayed myself publicly since like the late 80s, 90s, because, you know, I had a graphic design business, I had a family, and all that sort of stuff. So I just kind of painted as I was able to. And so I had about 17 paintings that I showed there, and I was going to do this. And I was also fresh off, I went to the representational, it's called the TRAP, the Representational Art Conference that they have every 18 months. They have it in Ventura, and artists from all over the world actually come there. It's an amazing thing. But I also realized I was kind of unduly influenced by them because there were a lot of realistic painters. So I started painting the portrait of Nigel, put in 80, 100 hours in it. And I looked at it, and it just wasn't me. I had a friend of mine come by and look at it. I said, what do you think? And he shook his head. Why, that's not you. And it looked just like him, and I got like a print of it. And what I did was, when I told him I was going to do it, I took a photo of him with my iPhone. And then I said, well, let's go outside. We'll take some pictures. So we scheduled time. We took pictures, and I did that. So this is that original painting. And it's big. It's as big as this one. But I couldn't stand it. And so one night, that it wasn't me, you know, and I was embarrassed. I didn't want to show it. But so one night I went home. I got home about 11 o'clock, and I went back to that original iPhone photo, which was really blurry, and it wasn't that crisp, and the lights were entirely not what you would want to use to paint. But so I painted another portrait of him, and I did that from about 11 o'clock to about 3 in the morning. And this is what came out of that, which is entirely how I would paint.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
And those are that's if I have a style, I realize that that's my style. This is my style. This is my style. This was done after these ones, and I'm getting looser and looser. And then but at the same time, you gotta keep that lightness. You have to keep that accuracy. You have to keep the colors right. And the more you do it, the better. The better you get at that. So I'll put this over here. You still can't use the bathroom. And,
Duane, can you pull that picture out in front? The other guy, the other one?
oh, this one?
Yeah, the easel is blocking it for me. Thank you very much.
Oh, here, I'll put it up there.
Oh, good, thank you. Yeah, that's it.
That's my friend George.
That's absolutely incredible picture. It's beautiful.
Thank you. This one or okay. I can sing too.
Now, can you flip them around the other way?
And so after I finish, I'll show you. I've done some paintings of my children. I have two boys and a daughter. My daughter's really hard to do, and I had that, but I didn't bring it because it's not done, and it may never be done. But I did finish my kids, so I thought I would show you those. This is my son Ezra.
Fantastic.
And this is, I'll put George down. that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. Just don't take your clothes off and lay in the corner. That's it.
And then, this is my other son, Dash Daffel, that I painted a while ago. And so these are the types of paintings that I do. I painted just the other day. My dad is almost 96, and so I did a painting of him when he was 90, and the painting of my dad looked similar to Nigel's painting. And but then I got back into it and I kind of fixed it up to my liking. But I did this one in about 2 hours, maybe less. So this is another one that I did on my dad. And it's really quick. And this kind of shows. And I did it. Some of you may have seen it online, but I did a self-portrait too, which was about. I made myself look really handsome. But this I did that in about an hour, and they're, I don't know if they're studies, but I like them the way they're done. But I like the energy of those paintings. What I like is having the energy in these brush strokes and still keep it at a place where you know maintain the likeness and the colors work and all of that. So unless there's questions.